Good morning, everyone. How are you? It is Free Practice Friday. I am Laura, and we'll do about 15 or 20 minutes of Qigong here. I originally was planning to do the healing sounds, but I'm not really feeling them today. So I'm gonna throw a couple other things out there. I want to do a movement called lifting the spirit, which is just lovely. It's great for lifting the spirit. So maybe that's what I need today. I don't know. We have a little bit of sun. It has been mostly dreary for the past couple weeks. Lots of rain. We've had a couple of really nice days. But I kind of feel like I'm living in Seattle right now. It's been mostly gray, so I think I need a little boost of that spirit there. So let's just start by giving a big sigh out to start the lesson. Good. Try one more. This time when you sigh out, relax the body as you're doing it. Good. As one of my instructors says, less thinking, more sighing. Sighing is a way in Chinese medicine that it's said to get the emotions out. So anytime you feel like you need to get the emotions out, the exhale is a really good way to do that. Sometimes it comes about in yawning, but sighing is also a great way to do that. We are going to start with just learning how to do lifting the spirit, and then we'll do it on all together as a group for a couple minutes at the end. So for lifting the spirit, feet are about hip to shoulder width apart. You want to be at a width that makes you feel stable. You can shift the weight back and forth a little bit. We're not going to be, but you want to make sure you're stable front to back and side to side. Knees are soft. No tension in the hips and the butt. That's where I tend to hold a lot of tension. I notice that I have to tell myself to relax there a lot. And this is mainly going to be an upper body exercise for now. So we start with something that's called lifting sun and moon. So our hands are hanging gently at our sides. We turn the palms up, lift to about waist height, and then push down. The hands float up and back down. We breathe in and let them float up. And then breathe out and let them float down. Inhale, remember the physical movement follows the breath. So inhale and float up, exhale and float down. Now you'll notice if I turn to the side, I'm not doing a biceps curl. I'm actually lifting up. My hands are about at my body, maybe a little in front of my body, but they're not way out here. So the elbows go back a little bit. Can you see the difference there? So rather than hands being out here and elbows being by your sides, hands are by your sides, maybe a little in front, and elbows are back. That opens up the chest area, and that's part of what we need to do to lift the spirit, right? We want to open our heart. So we'll do a couple more, lifting sun and moon. Breathe in and lift up, and breathe out and press down. Good. The second part is a movement that's called pushing mountains. And pushing mountains mainly is a pushing motion, but it actually starts the same as lifting sun and moon, where we lift up. But instead of pushing back down, we push out in front and then let the hands float back in. We push like we're pushing clouds away, or maybe pushing a mountain, which might be where the name came from. So we push out and then let the hands float back in. I kind of think of having a rubber band that's around my upper shoulders and surrounds my hands, so it goes in front of my hands and around my back, and I let it relax as it comes back, push it forward to stretch it out, and then let it relax back to its original position. As with all Qigong movements, this one also has breathing. So we breathe in as we pull in and breathe out as we push out. We'll do one more of these and then we'll go into part 3 of lifting the spirit. So part 3, the hands stay out in front. You turn the fingers towards each other. Don't turn them so far that your shoulders lift up. Just turn them so that they're facing each other in a way that's comfortable to you. And then we lift the hands up over the head, stretch up a little, and let the hands float down. So let's go back to where we were before. We were pushing mountains, we pushed out and we held. Turn the fingers towards each other, lift the arms, and then let them float down. Let's do this one more time. Hands are out in front, fingers are pointing up. We turn the hands so that the fingers are pointing towards each other, and then we lift to the sky. A couple small points with this. Again, if you watch from the side, when I lift up, I'm going to cover my face, but my hands they're not way up here over my head with my shoulders hyperextended. They're actually a little bit in front of my body to a point that feels comfortable for me. If I could go back here, I'm hyper flexible, but it's that's not what the movement's about. The movement is about keeping your shoulders down so your hands will not quite go to where your head is, and then they float down to the sides. So if we're out here, hands in front, turn the fingers towards each other, lift up. Remember, don't go all the way up. Don't go up here. Stay out here where the shoulders are relaxed and soft, and then let them float down. One more little point with this, but it feels really good, is the hands are out in front. You turn. When you lift the body just a little bit. Just stretch the torso. In fact, stretch from the feet if you can. Stretch all the way up, and then relax as the hands float down to the sides. So that's the third part of lifting the spirit. Let's put everything together. We're going to do each of the 3 parts a few times, which is how we would do it in practice as well. So we start feet shoulder width, knees soft. The torso, the upper legs are relaxed and soft. Hands are hanging by your sides. We lift up, lifting sun and moon, and press down. Lift up and breathe in, and breathe out and press down. Let's do one more lifting up, and one more exhale and pushing down. This time we're going to lift up and go into pushing mountains. So we lift up, and then we push forward, push that mountain, or stretch that rubber band. Exhale as you push out. Inhale as you pull in. Exhale, push out. Inhale and pull in. This time, push out, leave the hands there. Turn the fingers towards each other. Reach up, stretch the body, and then let the arms float down to the side. So that's one full cycle. We do usually 3 lifting sun and moon, 3 pushing mountains, and then 1 lifting the sky. That third movement is called, that's the second half of lifting the sky, which is another Qigong movement. So let's try it again, okay? So we lift up and press down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, press down. One more up and down. Inhale and exhale. This time, inhale, lift up, and exhale, press out in front. Push that mountain. And bring the hands back. push the mountain out. When you bring the hands back, the elbows again go back and you open up the chest. So we're opening up that chest again, opening up that heart center. Press out and come in. One last one, pressing forward. Turn the arms towards each other. Lift the sky and let it float down. Let's do it again. Lift up and down. Remember to breathe in and breathe out. One more, up and down. And then we lift up, push out to the front, stretch that rubber band or push that mountain. And then see if you can attract the clouds back in. Press out. See if you can get those clouds to follow you back in as they float towards you. One more, press out and in. This time press out. Turn the fingers towards each other. Lift up. If you want, you can look up at your hands if that feels good on your neck. And then float down. Let's go through this one or two more times. Lift up and down, up and down. Inhale and exhale. This time lift up and push out to the front. Inhale. Exhale out to the front. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more in. And then push out to the front. Turn the fingers towards each other. Lift the sky. Look at your hands if that's comfortable. And let your hands float down. Let's go through this one more time because it feels so good. Go at your own pace. If your pace is not the same as mine, you're welcome to go at your own pace. Really, the physical movement is following the breathing and not the opposite. I'm going to lift out and push out in the front now, pushing mountains. One more inhale, and then I'm going to push out. Turn my fingers towards each other. My vision follows my hands. I stretch up and let the hands float down to the sides. Good. How are you feeling? Good? Yeah, I always feel amazing. My hands always get really buzzy after that. It just feels wonderful, and it always makes me happy to open my heart. Somehow it just feels really good. They figured it out. They know how to lift someone's spirit. This is a great exercise to do in a group too. That energy that flows through in a group is really fantastic. So let's take just a couple minutes to turn inside a little bit. Usually these Qigong exercises are done with our eyes closed. So once you get comfortable enough with the whole cycle of lifting the spirit, then you can do it without watching. You can do it just with listening or do it on your own. It doesn't have to be 3 up and down, 3 pushing, and 1 lifting the sky. It can be however many you feel like feels good to you. Lifting sun and moon is a separate exercise in and of itself. The same with pushing mountains. And lifting the sky, we just did the second half of, but that's also its own exercise. So you don't even need to do all 3 of them together, but combining all 3 of them is really fantastic. Let's focus a little bit on the lower dantian. So this is the main energy center in the body, and this is where the energy kind of goes to sleep at night, and any excess energy, any chi that we have in our body that is not needed in the meridians will be stored in the lower dantian and then sent out to the meridians if they are in need of a little bit of a boost. So it's sort of like a reservoir. The way you find your lower dantian is a little bit below your belly button. So I usually have people put their thumbs in their belly button and then just let their hands rest comfortably on their abdomen. And where your hands are, where your fingers are, that's where your lower dantian is. You can put your hands there as we focus. You can put them one on top of the other, or you can keep them at your sides, whatever works for you. Ultimately, we want to be able to focus on our dantian without having the hands be there as a sort of reminder, but it can sometimes help to have that physical reminder of, oh, this is where my dantian is and this is where my attention should be. It's a little bit easier to keep your attention there. So let's close the eyes. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out, and bring the attention to your dantian. Allow the energy that you've moved during lifting the spirit to settle in dantian so that you can have it for later in the day. One last focus on dantian. If you've wandered somewhere, which is pretty common, so just bring your attention back to dantian. And then if your hands are there, you can drop them by your sides. You can open your eyes, and we'll do 3 closing breaths. Breathe in, let the arms float up, and breathe out, and bathe yourself in chi. Breathe in. And breathe out. One last inhale, breathe in. And out. Thank you for joining me today. It's been a pleasure practicing with you. I'll see you next week.